folks. So, I know you're going to be thinking about the course requirements and the final project, which is a paper, the Tell Me a Story paper. And there might be some anxiety about that because there's not a lot on our Canvas pages about that. And the reason that there's not is because I switched the big assignment around. And so this is the first time that I'm trying this Tell Me a Story approach to the final project. It's very similar to the final project that we used to have in this course, which was a comprehensive paper, very similar. So that comprehensive paper was, here's this topic, here's this problem or issue, and how all the different resources used in the course fit into that issue or help you understand that issue a little bit better. So it became a very sterile kind of paper for a lot of students because they were able to disconnect themselves from the problem or issue and then just systematically relate it back to all of the course resources. And that was fine. I could tell that people were using or accessing the course materials, but I really wanted this course to have a bigger impact in students' lives because we're mostly working with other people in our day-to-day lives, whether it be parents or children or families, other colleagues, and even help with our own relationships, whether it be parental relationships, spouse, fiancés. I know some of you are engaged and planning to be married soon, or actually even with our relationship with our critters. A lot of us have pets. So this Tell Me a Story approach came to me over the summer. I listened to a lot of audiobooks, and Alan Alda was someone that I grew up watching on the show MASH, and he had started this Center for the Communication of Science and Research down at Stony Brook College in New York. And so I started listening to his book. If I understood what you were saying, would I have this look on my face? And it really had me thinking about how humans learn instinctually, how our brains are activated to really receive information. And that's where I came up with the Tell Me a Story approach. I wanted it to be a little bit more personal for you as me, for me as a reader. I wanted to really be able to have us have this project matter, so that we really got something out of it, if that makes sense. So the Tell Me a Story can be anything, as long as you can relate it back to the social psychology concepts that are in our main open education resource text. And hopefully you've been able to look through that. There are some great resources. Videos are embedded in there, as well as additional external web links that would give you more information. So definitely use that as one of your main sources. Use the Alan Alda text. It's buried here on my desk. Use this text to tell your story. How can you better communicate what's happening in your story through empathy, through role modeling? A lot of the social psych concepts are in here too, and I think you'll find it a lot of fun. I also have the hard copy, as you can tell, and I also still listen to the audiobook. His voice is kind of soothing too, which is maybe kind of creepy, but anyhow, so I did post a paper that is a sample Tell Me a Story overview, and you can use that sort of as a guide for your own story. You can share your story on video. If you wanted to just share it like I'm doing here today, you can do that. Let me know if there's a better way that works for you. I can be pretty darn flexible when it comes to course components and requirements. If you have a different medium that you want to present it in, I'm open to hearing that. So again, Tell Me a Story. It should be kind of fun. It can be deeply personal. It can be work related. Some stories that might work for me personally. When I was a child, my first book that I could read on my own was a Johnny Appleseed book. And I remember my dad coming home from work the day I knew I could read it, and 100% confidence in that. And I asked him, like, Dad, you know, children, can you sit down? I got a book to read to you. And I sat on his lap and I read the book. Now, my fiance comes home and I'm like about my day. And I don't know if that's the first time that I was ever that excited about someone coming home and reading a book or, whatever. But it's still part of my personality. Like when I come home or when someone comes home, I'm like, oh yeah, what about your day? How's your day been? So looking at social psychology, did I learn that from my mom? Was that social learning from my mom, from my younger sister when my dad came home? Is it birth order? I'm the oldest, so is that my way of getting attention? And then just the verbal stuff, like, is that part of the multiple intelligences piece? Am I a verbal learner, an auditory learner? How is that impacting what's happening? So a lot of those social psychology things pick up on that. Also looking at social cues. Maybe Andrew is not all that interested in hearing about my day, or he's had a really bad day and he needs his own time to debrief. So that's where this book comes handy. So a lot of the improvisation activities that Alder talks about in here would be really helpful. Empathy, being able to read others' emotions is really, really helpful. So I would connect that in addition to the social psych text and some other resources. So every week I'll post a resource with you that I could use or think that would be valuable for all of you to use in part of your stories as well. So it's just your final paper, your Tell Me a Story paper, is going to be a collection of resources that are helping you understand your story a little bit more and helping me understand your story. So I know that was a little bit scattered, personal, but that's who I am. And so, and I think that works for people on the other end of the camera too. Please know I am always here if you want to reach out via email. I'll do my best to get back to you within 24 hours. I'm also more than happy to set up Zoom or phone conversations with you if you want to talk through your story ideas or get a better understanding of the course layout and responsibilities. So I hope that helps a little. If not, let me know. I'll see you soon.